So, what is Helldivers 2? In the simplest terms, Helldivers 2 is a third-person cooperative extraction shooter. Imagine Gears of War, Lethal Company, and Starship Troopers all got together and said, "Screw it, let's make a baby!" And instead of some horrific monstrosity that can barely be classified as a game, we got a masterpiece. But that is just scratching the surface of what Helldivers 2 really is.
He read the little text, he goes, "Is that really true? Is managed democracy really the best?"
I got one of the dropships.
There was some you wanna go here?
Holy shit!
Thomas, behind us! How did I survive? You won't. Well, I just shot a guy. Just help.
In Helldivers 2, you play as a Helldiver, one of Super Earth's mightiest, strongest, bravest, most loyal, most obedient, and expendable heroes. Emphasis on the expendable. I'm pretty sure Helldiver training has a more than 65% mortality rate. Let's start with the Helldivers 2 gameplay is broken up into missions. These missions have difficulties ranging from 1 trivial to 9 Helldive, where 1 is a literal walk in the park, and 9 is you crying for your mommy while you watch as your buddy screams in horror as he's being attacked by 9 Bile Titans.
Just go for the point. I think we'd run for it.
In the missions, you have a specific amount of time to complete certain objectives before your Super Destroyer leaves orbit. The time limit can range from 12 minutes to 40 minutes. The objectives can be as simple as killing a certain amount of enemies to launching an ICBM that proceeds to land 10 miles away. I'm pretty sure all Helldivers have cancer at this point. Not that it will matter.
Now, so. Well, I fell to him, but didn't even do anything.
Once you complete the main objective, extraction becomes unlocked and you can leave. But there are other things to do in the missions besides the primary objectives, such as destroying enemy bases for more XP, or looting random points of interest around the map for more super credits, requisition slips, medals, and samples. The first 3 of which are currencies used for unlocking things in the game. Samples, on the other hand, are used for upgrading your ship, but to get them you have to extract with them. The missions also have optional objectives scattered around the map. The amount of them is based on the difficulty and type of mission, with some having no optional objectives, while others have up to 5, which will have you running around the map screaming, trying to complete them all before time runs out. Completing these objectives not only gives you more rewards at the end of a mission, but some of them will also give you an advantage in the mission, such as stopping specific types of enemies from spawning, to giving you artillery support that can use a mini-nuke. And who doesn't love a good mini-nuke? Radiation? You'll die long before the radiation kills you. Missions are grouped into operations. All the missions in an operation are in the same area of a planet and all have the same difficulty. An operation can be 1 to 3 missions and can be done in any order. Each subsequent mission you complete in the operation, the better the rewards you will receive from that mission. If you fail to complete the main objective on any of the missions in the operation, you fail the operation as a whole. There also is a rumor going around that if you fail, you get sent to freedom camps. That's not true. Freedom camps are just myths created by anti-democratic traitors. So remember, if you're starting to run low on time, extraction is optional. The objective is not. That brings us to the Helldivers 2 is about a three-way galactic war, where you play as a SEAF Special Forces soldier called a Helldiver. SEAF stands for Super Earth Armed Forces. Helldivers get into combat by using Hellpods, a form of orbital drop pod. Hellpods are less a form of transportation and more like a hollowed-out bullet launched from orbit. I'm honestly surprised more Helldivers don't die on impact. Anyway, these drop pods are launched from one of Super Earth's top-of-the-line super destroyers. Right after you complete your training, you get command of your very own super destroyer. This destroyer acts as your home, transportation, and base of operations. It is also the way you interact with the galactic map, as well as get new major and personal orders. Personal orders are small objectives that refresh daily, things like kill X enemy with X weapon, and give you a small reward. The major orders, on the other hand, are objectives that the entire player base works together to complete. They have a limited amount of time to be completed and impact how the game's story plays out and progresses. So anyone who plays the game will impact the story. These orders are usually stuff like, capture X planet in the name of managed democracy, or protect X planet from the enemies of freedom, and stuff like that. These orders usually have days to weeks to complete. So, how do you capture or protect a planet? Well, when you complete an operation, it will add a very, and I mean very, small amount to the planet's liberation. When you fail an operation, the planet loses liberation. To capture or successfully defend a planet, the liberation on that planet must reach 100%. But don't worry, because the entire player base is contributing to the same liberation meters as you. This means, unlike most games, you are not the main character in some grand story. No, you are just an expendable foot soldier in a massive war. This does not mean there's no story at all. There are still those small stories you create with your friends in each mission, and an overarching story of the war that is influenced by what planets we lose or capture, and what major orders we succeed or fail at. A great example of this is the major order we just completed got us mechs. F***ing mechs. I mean, look how f***ing cool this thing is. With that being said, why are you fighting? And who? The answer is simple, of course. You're fighting for justice, for liberty, for freedom, for managed democracy! And, most importantly, for Super Earth. But what is Super Earth, you might ask? Well, according to the Super Earth Ministry of Information, Super Earth is a utopia of liberty, freedom, and justice for all mankind. Run by managed democracy, a new voting system where your vote is cast for you, based on a survey to make sure you vote for the candidate who best reflects your position. Super Earth is pretty much the United Citizen Federation from Starship Troopers with a little bit of Oceania from 1984. It's a militaristic, authoritarian, fascist regime disguised as an egalitarian democracy. Oh, I think they heard me. Super Earth is perfect, and anyone who says otherwise is a traitor to democracy. And if you notice your friend fraternizing with a traitor, report them to your local democracy officer immediately. But who are you fighting against? Who are the There are two enemy factions currently in Helldivers 2, with a third rumored to be coming soon. The two that are currently in the game are the tyrannical Terminids and the socialist automatons. Each faction is unique and have very different feels when playing against them, but both are trying to destroy our way of life and must be stopped at all cost. We totally aren't the aggressors. The enemy factions have some similarities. They both hate us for one, but besides that, some main objectives appear against both factions, such as launch the ICBM or conduct geological survey, and some optional objectives like the Siege Artillery or destroy Rogue Research Center, but besides that, they are very different. The Terminids are a species of intelligent insect? Arachnid? Fungus? Let's just go with bug. An intelligent bug species who live on many worlds and have some sort of interstellar travel, I think. There's not much known on how they travel, but playing against them literally feels like you're in Starship Troopers. They send hordes of bugs that can only attack from melee, but are bullet sponges with low armor except for the chargers. Oh god. Chargers.
I didn't even see it! I turned around and it was on top of me! I got locked in,
So because most of your time fighting them is running away spraying bullets into hordes, I recommend full auto weapons against them. Or fire. Fire works too. They also have unique missions, such as purge hatcheries or eliminate bile titans. But the Terminid-specific optional objectives are what really makes fighting them stand out. Like the Spore Spewer. It's a tower-like structure that produces a cloud of spores until it's destroyed. The spore cloud obscures your vision and makes it really difficult to see and easy for bugs to sneak up on you. If fighting the Terminids is like Starship Troopers, then fighting the automatons is like Terminator. The automatons are a species of sentient machine whose main goal appears to be kill all humans, but we don't know much about them besides that. Fighting against them feels much more like guerrilla warfare than a horde shooter. Most of their soldiers use high damage ranged attacks like rockets. Why do they use so many? You'll just be sitting there minding your own business, then BAM! Rocket to the face! They also seem to have lower health than the bugs, but almost all of them have armor, so you really have to place your shots well. Because of this, I recommend using precision weapons when fighting them, or you can go with my method and bring enough explosives to level Mount Everest. Their unique missions feel a lot more like actual war than the bugs do. For example, their missions are things like destroy transmission network or sabotage supply bases. Their faction-specific optional objectives really make it feel like you're just a small part of a bigger war. One type of them is to reactivate a Seif SAM site, which once completed will try and shoot down automaton dropships. But neither the Terminids nor the automatons are anywhere near as big of a threat to Super Earth as the There are rumors of a single entity that is so powerful both the Terminids and the automatons submit to his control. An entity so powerful Helldivers fear to say his name so as to not provoke his wrath. Some even say he sees this war as a game he can manipulate for his own entertainment, and his name is Joel, the Game Master. All jokes aside, the Game Master Joel is one of the reasons this game is so fun. He's like the DM of Helldivers. He's the reason the enemy factions actually feel like they're responding to our actions and not just doing what they're programmed to do. And that is because they are responding to our actions. Joel controls them and tells them how to react to what planets we take or fail to liberate. For example, the community joked about Malevelon Creek being Botnom, and now it's one of the planets with the worst fighting. I believe he had a part to play in that. But to fight all the enemies of Super Earth, you need the The weapons, armor, and other equipment you are given are designed to eliminate the enemies of democracy in the most cost-effective manner. When you launch into a mission, you bring with you your armor, a primary weapon, a secondary weapon, grenades, and stims. But you don't even get to bring max ammo, grenades, and stims because your hell pod isn't big enough for it without an upgrade. If Super Earth really cared about its Helldivers, all the upgrades would be standard issue. I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. That was a joke. Super Earth cares immensely for all of its citizens, especially the Helldivers. The weapons you bring with you range from DMRs and assault rifles to SMGs and pistols. Some even shoot lasers! Every weapon is unique and feels different from the others. No weapon is inherently better than any of the others. Yes, some are very powerful, but they aren't that versatile, and the versatile ones aren't that powerful. Most weapons also have multiple fire modes, like the Liberator. It has single shot for when you need to hit those far away enemies, a 3-round burst when you need to send more rounds towards your enemy, and finally, full auto for those moments when you're so overwhelmed and have killed so many bugs that all you can do is tape down the trigger and pray to Lady Liberty you have enough ammo. But if somehow the enemies make it past your impeccable offense, your armor is what will keep you alive. And you have quite a selection. The armor comes in 3 types: light, medium, and heavy. Light armor lets you run fast and for longer, but gives you less protection than a bikini. Well, heavy armor has the most protection, but makes you feel like a turtle who skipped leg day. And medium armor is between light and heavy. Each armor also gives you different perks that can range from decreasing recoil to increasing the number of stims you can carry. Speaking of stims, stims are how you heal yourself and other teammates. They will heal you as long as they are active, so even if you heal to full and get hit while the stim is still active, it will heal you some more. So you should use stims for everything. Just got shot? Stim. Broke your arm? Stim. Bleeding out? Stim. About to have a hell bomb go off right next to you and be flung several kilometers? You guessed it, stim. So, what happens when you can't shoot or stim your way out of something? That's when it's time for you to call... Stratagems are what really define your playstyle in this game. But what is a stratagem? A stratagem is a call-in that you bring with you into your missions. They can be anything from an orbital strike from your super destroyer to a request for heavy weaponry. When you start a mission, you can choose up to 4 stratagems to bring with you. The stratagems you bring with you will really change how you play the game, so choose wisely. There are 4 types of stratagems. First are the offensive stratagems, aka Team Killer 5000s. They're the red ones, and are usually some sort of air or orbital strike that will kill everything within range. Usually a very wide range, so watch where you throw them. Or you can be like me, and use them like grenades, killing yourself and all your teammates with you because you gravely misjudged the area of effect. Second, there are Team Killer 10,000s. I mean, defensive stratagems. Defensive stratagems are designated by the color green. They are things like automated turrets or minefields. The turrets will pretend Helldivers don't exist and shoot through them to get to the enemies, killing your fellow Helldivers in the process. And the mines will blow up if anything even remotely living steps on one. So be careful about your placement of these, and communicate it with your teammates, otherwise you will kill more Helldivers than enemies with them. Third are the support stratagems. Support stratagems are labeled in blue, and come in several types: heavy weapons, backpacks, and mechs. The weapons are stuff like the spear launcher, which is pretty much a javelin anti-tank missile, and I love it. It's mine, my precious. You cannot take it from me. You'll have to kill me for it. Spear go burr! Sorry, I don't know what just happened. Anyway, backpacks are sheer support and do stuff like carry more ammo. If you bring these types of stratagems for your teammates who really like the defensive or offensive stratagems so they don't have to use any of their stratagem slots for it, they will love you for it, and you are the true MVP of this game. Finally, there are the mission stratagems. They are marked by a yellow color and are very different from the rest because they don't take up any of your stratagem slots. Anyone in the mission has access to them. They are anything from calling in a respawn for your dead allies to mission-critical stratagem used for completing certain objectives. And hell bombs. Hell bombs are so much fun. That was all the good things about the game. Now, what about the... Let's start with the price. The game is actually fairly cheap at only $40 before tax, but there are microtransactions and a battle pass. For the most part, I'm against microtransactions in video games, but Helldivers 2 microtransactions aren't that bad. They use premium currency called super credits, where one super credit is worth roughly 1 US cent. They are only used for buying certain armors that have the same stats as those you can get without them, and for the battle pass. The most expensive item I've seen in the store so far is only 450 super credits, and the cheapest being 75 or so. And you can get super credits really easily just by playing the game. I have got enough from playing only 70 hours to buy all the things I wanted from the shop and then some. The battle pass isn't too bad either, and it's how I think it should be done if a game has to have a battle pass for some reason. There are 2 battle passes, a free one and a premium which costs 1,000 super credits. The battle passes are how you unlock most of your weapons and armor in the game. To do so, you use medals that are earned from completing missions. The free battle pass has a lot more items than the premium one, and most of the premium items are just reskins of the free ones. And from what I can tell, neither battle pass will ever expire either. With all that covered, that brings us to my... Helldivers 2 is an amazing game that is completely worth the $40 if you have some friends to play it with, or are willing to play with strangers, but it is not made for solo play. Not to say it's not fun to play solo, just if you do, you miss out on what really makes this game great. Now yes, it has microtransactions, but they aren't that bad or anti-consumer in nature, unlike some games. Destiny. And it has a good dev team who seem to listen to the community and seem to be very passionate about their game. I truly believe the success of this game and others like it, games that prioritize fun and community over all else, is just what this industry needs right now. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. This took a lot longer than it should have to make. Most of the footage used in this video was from when I was live streaming with my friends over on Twitch. So when I'm live streaming over there and you feel inclined, swing on by. We'd really enjoy the company. I'm still new to this whole video making thing, so if there's anything you think I can do better or improve on, please leave it below in the comments, and thanks again for watching.